Welcome to the workshop. I'm sitting here with the good old BlackBox, the go-to solution for many hobbyists for a very easy plug-and-play CNC controller. Unfortunately, it's not available anymore, and it has been a big problem for us because we have been relying on this item for quite a few years. So in the absence of the BlackBox, we decided, okay, we need to do something. And together with beech-grove, we have developed a new one. It looks a little the same because we have been inspired by the design of the casing. It's the PuzzleBox32, which is also a plug-and-play CNC controller that has all of the function that you found in the BlackBox 32. But it has some extra features that we have added on top of that. So here it is in a close-up. So you can see the fan, and on this side you can see the connection. You will connect it to your PC via the USB port here, and you have some LEDs here that can tell something about the different statuses. And it is being powered by 24 volt up here. You have output for servo and serial connection. And then one thing that we have changed is that the way you adjust the stepper current, you have some dials here, so it goes in steps of half an amp from 0.5 amp all the way to 4 amp. We think that it's fair to say that the drivers, they have circa 2.2 to 2.5 RMS amperage, and then they will be running very stable. But you can adjust it higher than that. Here you have the mounting holes for putting it into a box or on a rail or something like that. And then on the other side you have all the connections here. And if we start from one, you have a tool where you have a PWM signal, for example for controlling a laser. Then you have a 0 to 10 volt, which is often used to control the speed of a spindle. Then you have two relays, one which is a switching relay and the other which is an on-off relay. Then you have a coolant output, which is a transistor or MOSFET output that you can use to either turn on and off a solenoid for cooling liquid, or it could be other things that you want to switch on and off. Then you have the four motor outputs which goes via the drivers. So here you simply connect a motor directly to this output. Right below you see that there is a digital row where we get the signals for the drivers out. So that means that you can easily connect external drivers. That includes closed loop steppers and all other types of drivers that requires a step and a dir signal. Then we have the three limit switches here, which has an optocoupler to secure the separation between the controller and the switches, and they can be used with simple switches like on-off switches, micro switches, but they can also be used for proximity switches, and you have an option, a jumper, that you can select either 12 volt or 24 volt here. Then you have the probe, which is used for probing the machine, and then finally you have the door, and that is enabled by default. So if you don't have a door switch or you don't use it for an e-stop, then it will need a jumper in that input. At this side you can see there is a little notch down here where it's possible to pull a flat cable out, and that flat cable can be connected to a pin inside that gets a number of the LEDs out, so you can actually put the LEDs out on the front of a cabinet. So I have taken a prototype here, and it has all the housing plates removed, so we can see what's inside, and you can see the two onboard relays and the heat sink for the drivers. Then we can close up a bit here on the dials for setting the amperage of the stepper drivers, and they can be adjusted in steps of 0.5 amp from 0.5 all the way to 4, and you can see it listed here. If we turn it around, we can see the main part, which is the processor here, but you can also see here is the jumper I spoke about, or the pinout for external LEDs, so you can connect a flat cable and take it out of the notch over here, and then you can get some of the LEDs out on the front panel of your box. The two PCBs are connected via two sets of connectors. The long one here connects to this one, and then there's a shorter one here that connects to this one, and then the two boards are connected to each other via some small cubes with threaded holes. And there's a little spacer here, and then we use brass spacers to connect to the outside. Inside all these cover plates, we have left the copper on. This is a PCB basically, and we have left the copper on the side inside, and it will then connect to all this, so we essentially create ground all over the entire box surface in the intent of shielding it as much as possible for electrical noise. The PuzzleBox is shipped with all the connectors that you need for all the ins and outs, and then it also comes with a test report like this one, where we have tested all the functions. It's a pretty long list, to be say it mild. At the end, if it's ready to ship, it should end on board passed all tests successfully. I have hooked up one to the computer, as you can see here, with a power supply of 24 volts, and the computer is running currently software called beech-CNC, which is one of the softwares that is supported. You can also use I/O Center and several other of the grblHAL centers that is available online. On the front, you can see that I have the jumper in the door. And then I have attached the limit switch to X, Y, and Z, and then I'm using the onboard drivers to run the motors, and I am running it on a small maker carver that you can see here. It's actually seeing it from the back. If you look on the front, this is the maker carver with some small NEMA 23 motors. Okay, now I have connected everything to the maker carver, and we can do a little test. I've just made a small program that will do a peg drilling. So if I start the program, I hear the relay, then it goes to the position where the hole is, and then it will do the peg drilling. And that's it. I'll also show the homing function. Yeah, so now it's home. So thanks for watching.